when a bright and ambitious University of Minnesota student named David Miller vanished without a trace in 2016, his friends and family were thrust into a desperate search. Days later, the Mississippi River gave up her secrets and David's body was recovered, leaving behind more questions than answers. His death was labeled an undetermined drowning, but a web of theories soon emerged, including a possible link to the infamous Smiley Face Killers. Was David another victim of a nationwide pattern, or did tragedy strike under more mundane but no less heartbreaking circumstances? As we navigate the facts, the speculations, the haunting coincidences that still baffle investigators, you might find yourself questioning what lies beneath the surface of these chilling mysteries. Stay with us as we dive into David Miller's story and the enigma that continues to captivate and mystify true crime enthusiasts. Join me for another ride through the strange, odd, and mysterious here at Odd Mystery Stories. David Miller was a 20-year-old University of Minnesota student studying biological sciences. Known for his intellect and strong work ethic, on May 10, 2016, he left his Wilkins Hall dorm around 9 p.m., reportedly to clear his head before a crucial exam the next day. What seemed like an ordinary evening soon turned into a nightmare. When David didn't return to his dorm and missed his final exam, his friends knew something was terribly wrong. Adding to the urgency was the discovery that he'd left behind essential items, like his phone and wallet, uncharacteristic for the meticulous student. Concerned, his roommates alerted university authorities, prompting a missing person report. The campus community quickly rallied, organizing searches and spreading awareness. While law enforcement worked to trace his last known movements, what happened to David that night, and why did he leave without items he'd normally carry? These initial questions would soon deepen into something far more troubling. The days following David Miller's disappearance were marked by a flurry of search efforts. Law enforcement officers, campus security, and volunteers collaborated in an extensive operation to find the missing student. The University of Minnesota Police Department spearheaded the investigation, deploying search teams across the sprawling campus and nearby areas. Divers scoured the Mississippi River, and search dogs were brought in to assist, while aerial surveillance combed the woods and open spaces. David's family, friends, and fellow students distributed flyers across the city, hoping to spark any lead that may explain his sudden vanishing. The community's unity was palatable, with many refusing to give up hope. As days passed without new information, anxiety grew. Every path they pursued seemed to end in a dead end, heightening fears that something sinister might have happened. How could someone vanish so completely, and why did every clue feel like it was leading nowhere? 8 days after David Miller's disappearance, a boater on the Mississippi River made a grim discovery near the Ford Parkway Bridge. The call to authorities confirmed a body floating in the water, and within hours, police and rescue crews arrived at the scene. The body was carefully recovered and later identified as David Miller, bringing the intense search efforts to a tragic end. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed his identity, but with the recovery came a wave of fresh questions. The initial examination did not yield any clear indicators of foul play. Yet, the circumstances surrounding his death remained clouded in mystery. What had driven David to the river that night? Was his presence there voluntary or coerced? While the answers were elusive, the impact of his sudden loss left a deep void among those who had tirelessly searched for him, and a suspicion lingered in the air. In August of 2016, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office released the autopsy report, confirming that David Miller died from drowning. However, the manner of death was officially listed as undetermined. This meant that investigators could not definitively conclude whether his drowning was accidental, suicidal, or the result of foul play. Toxicology results did not reveal any substances that could have impaired him significantly, and there were no visible signs of trauma on his body. Law enforcement officials emphasized that there was no concrete evidence pointing to a struggle or malicious intent. Despite these findings, the ambiguity of the situation left David's loved ones and the wider community grappling for clarity. Why would a focused, well grounded student like David end up in the Mississippi River without any clear explanation? As the case grew colder, theories began to form, some more plausible than others, yet none offering a full closure. Amid the growing unease surrounding David Miller's death, one theory emerged that captured both public and media attention: the Smiley Face Killer theory. Proposed by retired New York City detectives Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte, this theory suggested that a network of serial killers was targeting young, college aged men across the United States. The victims, found drowned in bodies of water, were believed to share similar profiles: academically driven, athletic, and often last seen after a night out. What supposedly tied these cases together was graffiti of smiley faces found near some of the bodies' recovery sites. Though the theory was controversial and heavily scrutinized by experts and law enforcement agencies, it captivated those seeking answers in cases like David's. Was there a shadowy group responsible for these deaths, using the waterways as a means to hide their crimes? While no smiley face graffiti was reported near where David's body was found, the eerie similarities to other alleged victims couldn't be ignored by those who believed there was more to the story. Despite the absence of smiley face graffiti at the scene, speculation around David Miller's death continued to swirl. For supporters of the smiley faced killer theory, the circumstances fit an unsettling pattern: a young, successful college student vanishing near water and later being found drowned without a clear explanation. The undetermined manner of death only fueled these beliefs, suggesting the possibility that foul play was at work even if evidence was scarce. Critics, however, argued that this theory was built on coincidence rather than concrete proof. They pointed out that Minneapolis, like other cities mentioned in the theory, had a significant number of waterways, making accidental drownings more likely. Yet, for many, it was hard to dismiss the unsettling similarities to other cases. Was it a case of seeing connections where none existed? Or were there truly a larger, more sinister force at play? The debate continued, with both sides fiercely defending their views. What do you think? Do you think it's possible that the smiley faced killers were possibly behind David Miller's drowning death? Let me know in the comments below. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and local police departments, have consistently remained skeptical of the smiley faced killer theory. After conducting thorough investigations into several cases proposed by the theory supporters, authorities found no compelling evidence to suggest the existence of an organized group of serial killers. Instead, most cases, like David Miller's, were attributed to accidental drownings, often exacerbated by alcohol consumption or environmental factors. Officials emphasized the importance of relying on forensic evidence rather than drawing conclusions from patterns or coincidences. In David's case, the investigation yielded no signs of a struggle, no suspicious activity captured on surveillance footage, and no eyewitness accounts suggesting foul play. While law enforcement worked diligently to address every lead, they stood by their conclusion. There was no substantial proof linking David's death to the smiley face killer theory. The divide between official findings and public speculation, however, remained as wide as ever. David Miller's untimely death left a lasting impact on the University of Minnesota community. Students, faculty, and friends gathered to honor his memory through vigils and memorial services. Heartfelt speeches recounted David's bright personality, his academic achievements, and his genuine kindness towards others. The university also offered counseling services to help students process the grief and fear that his disappearance and death had caused. In addition to remembering David, many in the community channeled their pain into action. Awareness campaigns focused on campus safety, emphasizing the importance of staying vigilant, especially near water and late at night. The outpouring of support and solidarity showed just how deeply David's story had affected everyone. Yet, amidst the mourning and advocacy, questions remained. The haunting ambiguity surrounding his death lingered. How could such a vibrant life be cut short so suddenly, and could anything have been done to prevent it? As the years passed, discussions around David Miller's case continued to permeate true crime forums and community gatherings. The undetermined nature of his death left room for endless debate. On one side, skeptics of the Smiley Face Killer theory pointed to Minneapolis's history of drownings, particularly along the Mississippi River, arguing that the tragic accidents often happen in bustling college towns. They believed that attributing every unexplained drowning to a nefarious group could detract from real safety measures that needed to be in place. On the other side, believers in the theory argued that dismissing the possibility of foul play could mean overlooking a disturbing pattern. They raised concerns about young men with promising futures vanishing in similar ways across the country. Even without the graffiti at David's recovery site, the parallels to other cases felt too close for comfort for some. Was it simply human nature to seek connections, or was there a truth hidden beneath the surface waiting to be uncovered? The lack of resolution left the debate open, with each perspective fueling new discussions. David Michael Miller's story remains a heart-wrenching puzzle that continues to draw the attention of true crime enthusiasts and community members alike. The official conclusion, a drowning with an undetermined manner of death, has not provided the closure that his family and friends desperately sought. While law enforcement stands by their findings, the smiley face killer theory, with its web of patterns and unanswered questions, has kept curiosity and suspicion alive. Reflecting on David's case, it becomes clear how difficult it is to draw a definitive line between accident and something more sinister. The enduring impact of his loss on the University of Minnesota community serves as a solemn reminder of the importance of both vigilance and critical thinking. As people continue to debate theories and search for connections, one question remains. Are these tragic deaths merely unfortunate coincidences, or is there a truth that has yet to be uncovered? Hey, thanks again for watching my video. My name is Vince. Would you please consider supporting my channel by either buying me a cup of coffee at the link below, or even consider treating yourself to some merchandise at my online shop. I truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this story, you might also be interested in the story in the unexplained death of Brian Welzine. You will find the link to that story in the upper right corner of your screen. Thank you.